Hey everybody, welcome to our second ever, not quite annual because we had a little break last year, pitch contest. Super excited to have 12 amazing brands that are going to be pitching today for 6 to 7 great judges. We'll see how many of our judges show up here, but excited. We have a larger panel than last time, and we have our previous winner, Isabel from Loopy here too, so that's great to see. We're going to start with just some quick intros, and then we're going to hop right into the pitches. So Jennifer, how about you start us off a little bit about you and your background, and then we'll go to the next person.
Sure. My name is Janaba Johnson-Jones. I am the founder and CEO of Hudson Kitchen. We're a food business incubator based in Kearney, New Jersey. I opened the business in 2015 and excited to be here. Thanks.
Isabel, let's go to you next.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Isabel Steichen, one of the co-founders, CEO of Loopy. We're building a brand platform for the small but mighty lupini bean and have 2 product ranges in market today, Loopy Bars and Loopy Pasta, which you can pick up in Whole Foods Northeast.
I just placed my Loopy pasta order yesterday, so excited to try it. James, how about you next?
Sure. James Pellegrini. I am a co-founder and managing partner at Goat Rodeo Capital. We are an investment fund that focuses on beverage, food, alcoholic beverage, tend to lean pretty early stage, but love helping people with great ideas succeed.
Awesome. Taylor, how about you?
Nice fitting go from James to me. Beverage, all things beverage. Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor. I'm the founder and CEO of the Industry Collective. And I help founders across beverage and cannabis grow and scale at all different growth phases. And I also host a podcast every week with the one and only Cam. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to get you twice in 1 week. So that's good. Amrit, how about we go to you next?
Sure. Hey, I'm Amrit Richmond, co-organizer of Indie CPG. We're a community for mostly food and beverage founders and operators. We love to connect them to each other and to different resources in the ecosystem. And for work, I do consumer goods research for clients that want to invest in or partner with brands.
Awesome. And then we'll wrap it up with Nate.
Hey guys, Nate Cooper in Chicago. Proud to have the messiest desk here. I run Barrel Ventures. We invest throughout the entire food ecosystem, early stage from farm to fork and everything in between, and excited to be here.
Awesome. So the pitches are going to be 3 minutes. Then there'll be 3 minutes for questions, 2 to 3 minutes for questions. You can raise the judges. You might not have questions for every single brand, and we might not get to all 6 or 7 people asking questions for each brand. So I'll try to get to everybody. But you can just raise your hand on Slack, or you can physically raise your hand, and I'll get to you. Or sorry, on Zoom. The theme is kind of like you are kind of voting on the person that you think is doing the best job, kind of presenting themselves for the future and for future growth. It's a pretty broad pitch. We're not doing anything specific like last time. We kind of did like who's navigating COVID the best. So we want to do a little bit of a broader pitch here. I'm not going to be rude, but I am going to cut off everybody at 3 minutes. I gave everyone in the kind of warning. So if you see me kind of with a harsh mute at the 3 minute, that is just my one and only job today, is to keep everything moving. So with that, I'm going to let in Alex from Bauza first, and he's going to share his screen and kick off our pitch contest. Hey, Alex.
Hey, guys.
You are good to go. Once you share your screen and start, I will start the timer, and I will cut you off exactly at 3 minutes.
All right. Well, good. Can you guys see the screen kind of right now?
Yep, you're good to go.
All right, cool. Well, welcome, guys. My name is Alex. I'm the creator and co-founder of Bauza. We are essentially the new Hot Pocket for simplicity. We are trying to disrupt a category that's, Hot Pockets alone is $800 million a year business. We are a handheld steamed pizza bao bun. Yes, it's fusion, but there's a lot of things about that make it very cool. And we believe our big bet is to capitalize on people who have walked away from Hot Pockets. Their line has not grown since their acquisition in 2002. And we feel like and a lot of data points to the fact that this category is ripe for a newcomer, but that newcomer does have to be special. And we think that we're special. So Bauza was founded in 2016 in China. So my partner and I, Lauren, we speak Mandarin. we actually learned how to make these on the streets of Beijing. We originally started as a restaurant concept, but we moved into frozen food. We haven't looked back since. Along the way, we collected a check from Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban's one of our oldest investors. He invested in us in 2017. And since then, we knew that we would attack the US market. And in 2021 is when we finally entered the US market. As far as what makes Baozi cool, it's three things. The first is that they're very, very good. You have the soft steamed dough mixed with cheesy, gooey, delicious pizza fillings. It's really hard to go wrong with that combination. And because the bun is steamed, it gives us an unfair advantage in microwaves. We're probably the most friendly microwave food in all of America. Second, we're convenient. We use steamer bag technology, similar to frozen vegetables, to cook our buns in the microwave in exactly 1 minute. There's really nothing like this. Directly out of the freezer, you don't open the bag, you put it directly into the microwave, and it comes out perfectly every time. And then the third thing is that we're a clean label product. We're not organic, we're not gluten-free, we don't meet a lot of the kind of trendy buzzwords. However, we believe in clean eating and clean ingredients. So we meet the clean labeling standards for natural grocery stores. And that allows us into places like Sprouts, where we started, Whole Foods. And then since then, we've really expanded out. So today we're sold in about 4,300 points of sale. We're actually closing in on profitability, funny enough. And really the sky's the limit for this. It's a product that is cool, it's fun, it's delicious, it's a bit of a premium, a reasonable premium to the category, but it's something that we think can scale into conventional and mass. So thank you guys very much.
259, nice job there, Alex. If you want to just unshare your screen, that'd be great. And we will go to kind of questions. So Isabel, I see you kind of raise your hand. We'll go with you first. You can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I'm a big fan of Baozi, so I love this kind of combination of bringing two cultures together. I'm curious if there is much education required on the consumer side, or if consumers really understand that this is just an alternative to Hot Pockets.
Yeah, that's funny. You would think that, you know, a lot of people think that we're trying to position this as fusion food. What we've actually learned is kind of the opposite. We actually don't require any education. The people who are buying these the most are people that would have no idea what a bao is. So these are people in like the middle of the country. Our best-selling store in America is in Pikeville, Kentucky. So people see pizza bun or pizza bao bun and pepperoni, they kind of don't ask questions. So we do find ourselves getting the benefit of that doubt.
Awesome. Any more other questions from the judges? All right, Alex, I appreciate it. We will get back to you after the pitch and let you know how you did.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. And we did have one judge ask, yes, you can really grill them if you would like to. We don't want to make it as easy as possible. So I think the one judge said the word mean. Don't be mean to them, but you can you can grill the pitches for sure. All right, let me let Becca in from Mortal.
Hi.
Hey, Becca. You can share your screen, and then once you share your screen and start, I will start the timer for 3 minutes.
Okay. Does that work there?
You're good to go.
Okay. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. No, okay. Okay. So, hi, I'm Becca Sheps, founder and CEO of Mortal Ventures. And I started Mortal while working as a creative director in advertising. And I've worked on a lot of CPG brands at some of the best agencies. One day at my job, we were working on a Better For You brand launch while I was drinking a kombucha. I had this epiphany and I thought, why does every single kombucha market itself as this hippie namaste drink? To me, it was more like an energy drink. It was bubbly, it was fizzy, they're super flavorful. They literally blew up at you at the time. And I saw this white space and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make an aggressive kombucha and market it to people who loved energy drinks, rock stars and sodas and monsters, and that would never try kombucha because of this hippie stigma. So instead of leaning into this passive like washa wellness, at Mortal, we're about active wellness, or what I like to say optimization, or we make drinks that fight death. We currently have 3 product lines. We have our Mortal Kombucha, our Mortal Power, which is a prebiotic sparkling water with added functional ingredients like caffeine, electrolytes, collagen, and magnesium, and a prebiotic hard seltzer that's hyper-local just to Colorado. These 3 lines offer different use occasions and have really appealed to like a broader Gen Z consumer. Truth is, if liquid death has taught us anything, it's that every single person is trying to be healthier. And most brands, they miss out on 85% of the market by only focusing on this natural conscious consumer. At Mortal, we are the gateway healthy beverage. We have this bright, beefed up, in-your-face branding. We have relatable flavors, a great price point, and we check all those healthy boxes without being boring. And because of this, we're able to draw new consumers into the category rather than just cannibalizing from within. We're currently available in 42 states, although we're super focused on our backyard in the Rocky Mountains, below us in Texas, and then to the west in Southern California. We've over doubled in growth every single year since we've begun. And we're surpassing that $1 million mark this year. And we're not slowing down because we have some awesome things on the horizon. The first being, and I wish I could show a picture here, but it's like an exclusive secret, but we're offering a worldwide packaging innovation on one of our lines. It's better for the planet. It's the first of its kind on the market. And it's really better for our margins. Hints here is it's gonna like just be a game changer for our margin. And because of that, a lot of buyers are coming on board. We have some major retailer launches, including Sprouts, which we're going nationwide with in January because of this packaging change. Again, I wish I could show it here. Can show it when it's not being recorded. And then the last thing that we're doing that's really exciting is we've developed our first direct-to-consumerable product with a sport hydration mix that we've developed in collaboration with thefeed.com, which is a sport nutrition delivery service. It will be first sold and marketed exclusively with them to their hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And we're very excited about that because this product marks a differentiator for us in our brand positioning, really drilling down on what I spoke to in the beginning about us being about action sports and endurance sports and optimization and being that like active brand.
All right, we're at 3 minutes, Beck. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I'm at the end.
All right,
there's
perfect.
everything.
All right, if you want to unshare your screen, we will dive into questions.
Stop share. Cool.
Awesome. So first question is going to go to Amrit. We'll go to you.
Hey, the new packaging looks great for the hydration product. Is it a powdered kombucha or more focused on electrolytes for sports?
It's 100% an electrolyte mix, and there's going to be a regular and a salty, no prebiotics, just extreme for just sports.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
James.
Hi, Becca. How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's good. It's good to see you. My question's around, the size of the portfolio as it exists today. Like, do you run into challenges from a supply chain standpoint, trying to manage multiple different product offerings?
No, not exactly. All of our stuff is made at the same co-packer. The sport hydration powder is actually going to be made. When I say in collaboration, they're running the whole production process of it. So we're not managing any of that. I can't speak fully to how we're doing it, but it's not a distraction at all because it's going to be kind of managed through their channels. Yeah.
Nate, you're up.
So I think kombucha is a very crowded and very polarizing category. Mm-hmm. How are you going to sort of fight through the noise and get in?
It's a complete brand play. I've been, like my whole career has been building brands and I've been pretty good at it. And we've found that what we are offering, people are seeing. And the thing that I can't talk about also is it's been crazy. We've gone back to retailers that have said no to us before and they're all just like, yeah, bring it in. So we'll be launching in like double the doors we're in by the spring. So it's pretty exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Becca. Great job. Oh, sorry, one more. Janama, do you want to go?
Yeah, I just had a question just about, because you have 3 product lines. What's the best selling product line that you have?
The kombucha is. Yeah, and it keeps growing, which is and outpacing the growth in the category.
And why not focus on just kombucha, just out of curiosity?
We might be with the new traction that we've been getting, and it's really been in the past month. I've just been like, oh my God, this is insane. So yeah, it's not off the table.
I tried the power line at Expo West. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So big fan of the product for sure. And the branding's great. Becca, thank you so much. We will be in touch in a few.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Next is going to be Philip from Yolele. Questions are flowing now after the first one. Got it. Hey, Philip, you're good to share your screen. And once you share your screen and start, I will start the timer.
Sounds good. Hi, Cameron.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Ready to begin. So,
All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Phil Teverow. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Yolele. I've been in the food industry for a long, long time, and I was searching for a way to apply my skills in a way that would bring something useful to the world. When I met my partner, Pierre Cham, Pierre moved to the US to be a college student, moved from Senegal, instead found himself working in restaurant kitchens where he took a look around and saw, where's the African food? And he knew the food that he grew up with was absolutely delicious and would be exciting to a lot of people. And moreover, that if he could bring that, the ingredients that are essential for preparing the cuisine, the culinary traditions of the region, that it would provide a livelihood for smallholders practicing resilient agriculture. So together we started Yolele to bring the flavors and ingredients from Africa with the whole world. I knew that this would be a compelling project, in particular around the ingredient fonio. Ancient grain, gluten-free, climate resilient, grows really easily, cooks in 5 minutes, deliciously like couscous, and it has a lot of applications. It's a grain, so it can be used in so many different categories. From the outset, we knew that if we were going to be in the fonio business, as well as the African food business, we had to be selling not just bags of fonio like this, but to be using fonio as an ingredient in all different kinds of products. And one of the products that we introduced in the last year or two is fonio chips. We've been getting a lot of good distribution for them. They taste absolutely delicious, and that's the sea salt, but we have other flavors that use African seasoning profiles and actual African ingredients, smallholder ingredients to season them. We've been getting a lot of love for the whole concept of bringing West African foods from West Africa to the US, a lot of high profile people, and this page at 3 months old is super out of date already because Pierre has cooked fonio on the stage last month with Bill Gates, for example, getting a lot of attention for fonio. In addition, it's not just attention that we're getting. The products are selling off the shelves very well. Our fonio is really outperforming the category of grains dramatically, driving an outsized portion of the category's growth over the last year. Our chips, again, the fair share index of 1808 means we're selling 18 times more. We have 18 times more the category share than you would expect given our size. Well, let me back up. Fonio is easy to grow, hard to turn into food. It's grown by smallholders. We have developed a technology that can transform fonio from a crop into an ingredient super efficiently, 2 tons per hour instead of 1 ton per day, which is the norm. We've established a partnership in Mali with a local agro-processor and we're building a factory that will be processing thousands of tons of fonio grown by tens of thousands of mainly women in West Africa that we're sourcing from.
Philip, I'm going to have to stop you there.
Okay.
All right. If you want to unshare your screen.
Sure.
And we will go to questions. I have the first question. I think I can do that. I'm a big fan of the chips, but I was kind of surprised that it was like 200 calories. Are you seeing any pushback on like the calorie density of the chips or no? Because I think the flavor and like the mouthfeel is awesome, but it was just like, that was a little surprised by just like, you usually see even like a Lay's like at 160, 170. So I was kind of surprised by that 200 number.
Well, thanks for the kind words. You know, we do get feedback. I have not gotten one bit of feedback about calorie count. This is the first time it's been pointed out, and I've been unaware of it. And I think it's because people look at this as a snack, and most people aren't paying too much attention when they're having a salty snack.
Yeah,
That
no,
kind of stuff.
the flavor and everything definitely makes you it makes you kind of forget that. So it was a great great product for sure. Any other questions, Isabel?
Thank you, Philip. I am a big fan also of the chips and the fonio on its own, really delicious. I'm curious if I noticed on the packaging, the only claim really you're making is around gluten-free. I'm curious if there are any nutritional benefits beyond that are important to this ingredient, and if that's something that you've been thinking about kind of highlighting a little bit more.
Well, it's relatively densely nutritious compared with rice or couscous. It has around 3 times the protein, iron, and fiber when it's in whole grain form. But we've had a and I should also mention that the protein composition is heavy on methionine and cysteine, which are 2 amino acids that are deficient in most grains. So it's unusual in being strong in those 2. But it's been the processing capabilities on the continent have been a hindrance to the nutritional density of a product that we've been able to offer. I just got samples back yesterday from a processing trial from an equipment manufacturer that is the first time anyone has ever seen truly whole grain fonio, and it will be really interesting to see what that product levels out at in terms of nutrient density as well as taste.
So we have time for one more question, and Nate Taylor did have her hand up first. I'm gonna have to go with her on this one. I'll give you the next one.
Go ahead.
Not even competitive, but that's great. I have a question for you, because the products to me like don't feel quite synergistic. Like I don't see them like necessarily, like I see the chips and then maybe kind of, evolving like with more chips and different varietals and maybe the other product. And so my question is like, how does like a corporate strategy come into play? Like, do you look at these as like, do you market them individually, or are you trying to kind of create like a corporate halo where you talk about kind of the wider cuisine and how you're owning it? And these are 2 of the first varieties and then more to come. Like, I'm just curious, because you could go either way, but I'm just curious the direction you go in terms of how you market it.
Just quick answer on this one, Philip, because we are running a little bit behind.
We have 3 companies. Yolele here is a brand, African food. Our mission is to get people aware of fonio and that it can be used. And it's not just consumers, but food manufacturers. We are agro-processors supplying Nestle, Unilever, Kellogg, Mars with fonio that they can use in their products. That's what's going to get us to achieve our impact objectives. And in addition, our revenue objectives, because that's thousands and thousands of tons of fonio. Here, we're just building awareness, and we kind of have a good ownership of African foods as a brand. And the more products we can put out there, the stronger ownership will be.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Philip. We'll be in touch with you after.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All right. All right. Let's get into our leisure wear here with Leisure hopping on.
How are you doing?
Hey, Steve and Alex. So you can share your screen, and then once you start, I will start the timer and then rudely stop you right at 3 minutes.
Awesome.
All righty.
Nice to see everyone. Happy Friday.
Good to see you too, man. All right, you're good to go.
All righty. Hi, everyone. We're the team at Leisure Project, and we are flipping the script on hydration for the next generation. So we believe that the hydration category has fallen asleep at the wheel. For decades, hydration beverages have only ever been branded towards athletes and exercise, and only ever formulated to serve the needs of physical performance. But consumer aspirations are rapidly shifting. Young consumers simply don't want to be athletes anymore. They aspire to be the next great creative. And their needs are rapidly evolving too. Young consumers today are more concerned with their mental health than ever before, and they're openly discussing it as well. And the fact is that stress and dehydration are highly interconnected, yet it's practically never spoken about. Just mild dehydration spikes stress and impairs cognitive function. So with 75% of Americans being chronically dehydrated, we believe it's time to reimagine what hydration can mean for the consumer of tomorrow. Introducing Hydration Made Happier. Leisure is the first hydration drink designed with both mental and physical well-being in mind. Each can contains 50% more electrolytes than a serving of coconut water with 70 plus minerals. But beyond hydration, Leisure combines functional ingredients like magnesium, adaptogens, and vitamins known to help combat stress and fatigue on your mind. Each can is only 30 calories, 5 grams of sugar, has an approachable lemonade-like flavor, and comes packaged in a sustainable aluminum can that stands out in a category historically filled with plastic bottles. In the market, we're blending categories for something familiar yet freshly positioned. We take top product attributes from sports drinks, plant water, and enhanced water sets, and infuse modern functionality into a hydration format that we believe has broad mainstream appeal. Over the past decade, we've seen gut health explode in growth, but the brain health market is still 5 times smaller, yet stress and anxiety is the #1 health concern of Americans today. We believe Leisure has a unique opportunity to play in this void to create a functional trade-up option in the hydration set. But beyond the product, Leisure aims to build the first hydration brand integrated in the creative community. We've crafted a brand intentionally to bring a sense of fun and creativity to a category that hasn't evolved its messaging or identity in decades. Our brand identity allows us to show up in places like festivals, creative workspaces, and hospitality that sport-oriented drinks simply do not fit. We launched into retail just 5 months ago, and you can find our product on shelf in about 75 doors like Erewhon, Bristol Farms, and more. And in just 1 full quarter at Erewhon, Leisure established a fast-moving velocity of nearly 12 units per SKU per store per week and became the #1 shelf-stable hydration drink in terms of dollar contribution last quarter. On top of retail, we've quickly established ourselves as top movers at some of LA's hottest food service locations. We've been earned media and publications like The Morning Brew, and have built an NFT arm of the business that drove over 6 figures in revenue prior to even launching. We're now working to expand to around 250 more doors in the natural channel and have plans to evolve the brand towards conventional and mass over the next few years. Thank you.
All right. If you want to unshare your screen, we'll move to some questions here. Who wants to go first? Nate, you didn't, again, I didn't get to your last one. Do you have a question here for the guys at Leisure?
Yeah, so I think in beverage there's a distinction a lot of times between brand and formula, right? And those are the 2 reasons why people buy your product. What do you think is sort of distinguishing yourself from everything else in the market?
Yeah, I think we look at it 2 ways. I think in terms of the category, everything has always been very sporty and branded in a way that speaks to performance. We see ourselves as bringing a sense of wanting just to feel good for a younger consumer. And in terms of product formulation, I think we're focused more on the working professional and creative and trying to have benefits that help with stress and focus and things that approach mental well-being, but also hitting on the familiarity of hydration with electrolytes and minerals.
Yeah, and I think to add on top of that too, like traditionally when you think of hydration or electrolyte drinks, you probably think of Gatorade and the derivatives, right? And we get asked pretty consistently from different yoga studios, Pilates classes, spin classes, whatever in the area to do like collaborations or anything like that. And we actually say no very often to that because we want to stick into our lane. So both from the brand and the product functionality perspective, we're not positioning this as a sports drink. We do hear from consumers that they have it after a long hike or after a class, but we're really focusing more on that creative professional.
James, let's go with you, and that'll probably be our last question for this one.
Yeah, one thing that I find to be super effective and easy in the hydration space is to go after the sports hydration segment because there's a pretty understandable need for hydration when you're exercising. As you guys are kind of looking at attacking a different market, how does education come into this? Like, what's the plan to educate consumers and to try and help them identify this need state that I think you guys have pretty clearly elucidated, but I don't know if I pulled somebody off the street if they would say, yeah, I need, something that is helpful for my mental health.
Yeah, I think a way that we kind of think about it, especially in this era where we're all squares on screens, we're sitting at our desk all day long. And I can't remember the last time I had a side cramp sitting at my desk, which is really what the Gatorade derivatives are all trying to pitch, right? You're not going to have a side cramp. You're going to have that energy to dunk the basketball, run a marathon, whatever. But we all get brain fog throughout the day. And brain fog, lots of times, is happening because people aren't drinking enough water. They're not hydrated. They're not properly, taking care of themselves mentally in terms of the stuff that they're putting in their body. And lots of people relate to that. So whether it's at demos or in the content that we put out into the marketplace, it clicks with people pretty immediately when whether it's a working professional on spreadsheets or it's a photographer on a photo shoot, which is really more that aspirational person that we're speaking to, they get it, and it resonates.
Awesome. All right, great job, guys. I will be in touch after and let you guys know how you did.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, have a nice weekend, man. All right, we're going like beverage, food. All right, so our next one is Fabulous. So we're going to be doing food here.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Jess. Hey, Paul.
Hi, guys.
You can share your screen, and then once you start talking, I will start the timer.
Sounds good. Can you see our
Yeah, you're good to go.
presentation? Okay, great. Hi, everybody. We're bringing plant-based back to the basics with simple ingredients and actual veggies while delivering on amazing award-winning flavor. And thanks to the magic of chickpeas and its upcycled byproduct aquafaba, we make the cleanest, most delicious dips and veggie bites on the market. And we're not the only ones who think so. Since launching, our sales have more than tripled each year. Food today is highly processed and engineered to be low cost, but it's at the expense of our health. The amount of artificial preservatives, isolates, flavorings, gums, and fillers in our food is just heartbreaking. And is this what we really want our kids eating? Well, this is what I grew up on, and I faced some severe health issues that led me on a life-changing health journey where I learned that food, real food, is medicine. As an amateur chef, I competed on the Food Network and won, proving that you can eat healthy and delicious. With the cash prize, I went to culinary school and became a natural food chef. I also became a mother. My name is Jessica, founder and creator of Fabulous, and now I am here to prove that we do not need to settle for a broken food system. Our mission is just simple: to provide real, clean food that is delicious and convenient. We check all the boxes: plant-based, organic, allergen-friendly, made with ingredients that even a child can understand. And of course, flavor that will bring life to your kitchen. Aquafaba is the enriched water from boiling chickpeas, and it whips up beautifully into a velvety, fluffy base, and no one is using aquafaba like Fabulous. We upcycle the water to make smooth, creamy dips that will take any dish to the next level. And we also make baked and organic falafel, veggie-packed protein and nutrition that you can feel good about, because consumers are coming back to the freezer aisle in search of healthier products. And by the way, our bites pair amazingly well with the dips. And the response has been amazing. We've won numerous awards, received great press, and the reviews have been outstanding. We've even had top retailers reach out to us to carry our products. We have got an exciting pipeline of accounts, and we're encouraged by the velocities. We're on Hungry Root's A-list, moving 5,000 units each week with just 2 SKUs. Most of all, we're ready to scale. We self-manufacture out of our own dedicated facility, giving us control over our destiny. We're becoming the leader of cleaner, best for you foods, and we invite you to join us on this fabulous journey. Thank you.
All right. You can unshare your screen and we'll move to some questions. Who wants to go first? Amrit, let's go with you.
Hi, your tzatziki dip is one of the best things I've ever eaten. Any plans for shelf-stable sauces and dips?
By the way, I just wanted to introduce Paul. He's the co-founder and business partner. That's a great question. Anything shelf stable would have to have any preservatives in it, and we like to say we're proudly perishable. That's what is making a lot of us sick without even knowing. So I would like to extend our shelf life a little bit longer, but being shelf stable would mean a lot of preservatives, which I don't necessarily want to do at the moment.
Understood. Thank you.
Isabel, you're good.
Hi, I
Hi.
love the product. I love how clean the label is, especially for the falafel. I'm curious if you're running into challenges marketing in the frozen aisle, especially because you are, introducing something that is better for you. And I feel like there's still a lot of preconceived notion that frozen is not necessarily doing that. So curious how you're cutting through the clutter there.
Yeah, what's interesting is we've had, like Jess mentioned, we've had a number of buyers reach out to us because falafel is a trending item. And we have like a unique, like modern take on the falafel, loaded with veggies, just baked instead of being fried. So surprisingly, the falafel has been performing really well organically, without the need to heavily market it.
And just to add on that, our biggest consumer are actually family shoppers that are looking for something clean and convenient. So having a frozen item has actually been a great benefit for us, and we're seeing a lot of volume in that.
Awesome. All right, Paul, Jess, great job. We will be in touch after.
Great.
Yeah,
thank you so much. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
All right, next up is Prickly. And we'll have an open conversation a little bit, like at the end, and kind of decompress and talk about all the presentations a little bit.
What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going, man? So you're good to share your screen, and once you start talking, I will start the timer.
Let me know if you can see it.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Right. Sounds good. What's up, judges? I'm Quan, the co-founder and CEO of Prickly. Our mission is to inspire you to be resilient like the cactus by creating delicious moments of happiness, because cacti plus cactu equals cactus. My co-founder Mo and I left our burgeoning careers in biotech to pursue the American dream after Mo introduced us to his favorite childhood fruit, the prickly pear cactus. Growing up in Lebanon, his grandma would juice these delicious and beautiful fruits in the summertime, and he would fight over every last sip with his siblings. We've since aligned ourselves with some of the industry's best leaders, from individuals with successful beverage and CPG exits, e-commerce founders, and continue to crush it in today's world. Our sustainability superstar, the mighty cactus. It's drought tolerant because it requires nothing but rainfall to grow. It's perennial, so you can harvest the crop every year, and everything from the roots to the fruits can be used. Cactus is already having a moment right now, and it's well positioned for four main reasons. One, it's delicious. Two, it's nutritious. Three, it's sustainable. And four, it's so marketable and intriguing. Everyone on the planet knows what a cactus is, but there's such a white space opportunity for us to show the world just how approachable it really is. Put that together, and Prickly is well positioned to take share from three growing hydration segments across both natural and conventional channels: sports drinks, coconut water, and flavored water. Just 1% of this market is a $200 million opportunity. Our eye-popping, low-calorie drinks come in three delicious flavors: prickly pear, wild strawberry, and tropical mango. They defend your body like a cactus and are packed with all the benefits that mainstream consumers are looking for: electrolytes, antioxidants, and vitamin C, with 50% less sugar than coconut water, juices, and sports drinks. It's happiness in a can. Since we launched in February of 2021, we've gained some pretty incredible traction. We've been featured on Shark Tank and Today Show. We've sponsored numerous campaigns within mental health, and we've built a loyal following of over 50,000 cactoids across our social channels. Our industry accolades at the bottom also show that Prickly is ready to dominate the whole cactus. Much like these established comps, we're building a one-of-a-kind innovation pipeline around a rising commodity ingredient that has been a staple in the Southwest US and all around the world for over 9,000 years. We're building the greatest cactus company ever. So join our community and refresh your life. Thank you guys so much for your attention.
Great job. If you want to just unshare your screen, we will go into some questions here. First of all, I think I drank all three within like 2 hours of getting them. So great job on the liquid inside the can for sure.
Thanks so much, Cameron.
Who wants to have the first question here? Omri, we'll go with you.
Hey, your rebrand looks great, and I also loved your old packaging. What inspired the need to change up the look?
To really tell an authentic story that led from mission first. I think we learned a lot in our first year, and we wanted to put ourselves in the brand so we could express ourselves as opposed to sell a cactus water. And I think that's exactly what we did. And the results of them have been really objectively great because we've actually seen a 2x velocity lift in retail as well.
Nate, you're good.
Is this water from any cactus, or does it have to be prickly pear or saguaro or cholla?
Yeah, so it's from the prickly pear cactus specifically.
Oh, just dropping cactus knowledge. There you go, Nate.
I happen to be a cactus.
I don't think you would want to drink a saguaro cactus. I mean, that might actually be pretty dangerous for you. Just in case.
Quan, that was a great job. Really appreciate it. Love the product, and we will get in touch with you after the pitch.
Thank you guys so much for your attention.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, now we have Miles up from 8 Miles. I think our first frozen product. Oh no, we had one other frozen product. Hey, Miles.
Cameron, how are you today?
I'm doing well, man. You can share your screen, and once you do that and start talking, I will start the timer.
All righty, let's go ahead and share this. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yep, you're good.
All righty. Well, thanks for the time, everyone. My name is Miles. I am the CEO of 8 Miles, and we are bringing families back to the dinner table. A little bit of how I got started. I grew up in a family where the dinner table was a very special place, and not just a place to eat. It was everything. And it was because of those moments around the dinner table with my family, sharing those comfort meals, I developed a passion for both food and family. And I actually competed on the Food Network on a competition series called America's Best Cook. From that point on, I decided I'm going to quit my full-time engineering job and pursue this passion and share my love of food and family with the world. Now, here's a fact. 84% of Americans actually report feeling stressed on a weekly basis. And unfortunately, dinner has become a major part of that. It's no longer a joy to share. And when you couple that with the fact that 87% of consumers say that they would likely purchase foods that are specifically designed to improve mental health and well-being. And that is exactly why I started 8 Miles, an authentic and clean comfort food brand. And we currently have a line of the greatest mac and cheese on the market that you can find. Now, it happens to be frozen, but I like to say that it's not frozen food, it's real food that's frozen, inspired by nostalgia and created for memories. Now, a lot of mac and cheese on the market right now, but we do differentiate ourselves. 100% real dairy, no food coloring, no artificial cheese flavors, loaded protein, less sodium and carbs than our competing brands. And of course, we are absolutely delicious. And our customers love it too. One of the biggest comments that we typically get is, wow, can't believe this is actually frozen. Because like I said, it just happens to be frozen. It is home cooking at its finest. Now, the frozen food industry in general has gone through a transition. Pandemic has kickstarted that change in behavior, and consumers are now seeking products that they might normally have bought fresh. And so that age-old stereotype about food being kind of on the lower quality side is fading among young shoppers. And frozen food is helping consumers fight that cooking fatigue. But shoppers aren't willing to sacrifice quality when they shop in that aisle. And that demographic will be millennials. They become actually the largest consumer in frozen, and they're seeking nostalgia from their brands. And 87% will splurge on a nice meal even when money is tight. And so 8 Miles is actually one of the fastest growing Black-owned comfort food brands in the United States. We'll be closing this year a little bit more than $500,000 and scaling towards over $2 million next year and beyond through some of our retail partners like Target, Giant, and Whole Foods. And so with that being said, I want to thank you for your time. I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
Perfect, man. Right at 3 minutes. If you want to unshare your screen.
Yes.
And we will get to some questions. Who wants to be first? Nate, you're up.
Miles, I've tried the product. I think it's awesome. Congratulations on what you've done so far. I have a question about the name of the brand. Do you think that the name is a little confusing to consumers? Like, what does 8 Miles mean? Like,
yeah,
if they see the name, they don't know what it is, right?
Right. So actually, the great question. We're actually doing a rebrand right now. And so early next year, we're going to be Miles Mac as the brand name. So right on time. We're redoing our packaging, website, the whole 9 yards.
Awesome.
I was going to ask which one of the 8 miles you were, or if you were all 8 miles. I get the fan words, but also a huge fan of the product and what you've created.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome, Miles. We really appreciate it. We'll be in touch after the pitch, and we'll let you know how you did.
All right. Thanks, Cameron. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right. Next up is Altitude Beverage.
Good morning.
Hey, Thomas, how you doing? You're good to share your screen. And once you start talking, I will start the timer for you.
Awesome.
And yeah, we can see it. You're good.
Cool. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay, awesome. So I'm Thomas Angel. This is Laura Melgarejo. We're the co-founders of Altitude Functional Beverages. And before I get into the what, I think it's important to start with our why. So Laura and I actually spent the last few years living in Beijing, China. We got caught outside during coronavirus and had to force repatriate back to the US in 2020. And part of our reverse culture shock was seeing our close friends and family taking functional ingredients like hemp CBD, chaga, ashwagandha. And after confirming our family was not on drugs, we decided to give them a shot. But we faced 3 major issues. The first was they're really hard to incorporate into your routine, as most of these functionals are powders and tinctures. Second was, even if you did find ready to drink options out in the marketplace, they mostly only focused on one function or benefit. And third, and most importantly, is majority of them tasted pretty terrible. At the same time, we also saw a breakdown in our daily beverage routine, where we noticed this over-reliance on caffeine to amp us up throughout the day through coffee or energy drinks, that left us needing to force a wind down in the evening with the consumption, or dare I say overconsumption, of alcohol, which led us feeling dehydrated and fatigued, thus sort of perpetuating this cycle where the next day we had to amp ourselves back up with caffeine. So that's why we developed Altitude, to create a latte for focus and not jitters, and then an evening line of mocktails for that social occasion to get that buzz without a hangover. So, our latte line, they are packed with hemp-derived CBD, turmeric, and 4 functional mushrooms. We've got a coffee, a matcha green tea, and a chai black tea, all organic oat base and sweetened with agave. Our evening line, our sunset vibes, are sparkling white tea based, packed with hemp CBD and nootropics. These are amino acids that help to give you the feeling you seek from alcohol without the alcohol. Well, why are we going after the CBD beverage market? Assuming FDA regulation by 2026 is expected to exceed $14 billion. Why are we uniquely positioned to go and win that? Well, I think, we view CBD as one functional of many, as opposed to a novelty. We're keenly focused on existing routines. We're one of the first to market to take that risk in a space that is a little challenging at the moment. And where products are not only natural, but they're also delicious. With 1 year in market, we've been able to scale to 14 states and over 500 doors. Most significantly, Sprouts Farmers Market, which is the largest grocer taking CBD comestibles. We were one of the first 11 beverage brands selected by them for their first national reset. How we've been able to do this? We got a scrappy team of Latinos that work 8 days a week and 26 hours a day. And what do we need to get to our ultimate goal? I think ultimately it's not just capital, but it's strategic partnerships to help us get to that scale.
Awesome. Great. If you want to unshare your screen, we'll open it up for some questions. Thank you for sending samples. Really enjoyed the Paloma skew. It was the first time I tried the sparkling teas, so that was great.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Who has questions? Taylor, you're up first.
I have just a quick question. I feel like that I think it's interesting. I like the taste of it a lot. I guess my only question is, I think from a messaging perspective, there is kind of a lot of facets to this, right? So you're doing like a latte, then you're in an RTD format, then you have CBD, then you have adaptogenics. Like my only thought is around like it may be to a general consumer a little bit overwhelming when it comes to kind of the facets. Are you thinking as you move forward with the products, not as much like R&D, just like messaging wise, like, are you going to focus more on being like the CBD product in kind of these better for you stores, or more focus on like being in an RTD format? I'm just curious because I think right now there's kind of, it's all encompassing in my opinion. I think there's a lot to digest. And for consumers, I think it'll be a lot for them to try to understand all of the various facets, which are great, all at once. So is there an area out of everything that you're doing that from like a marketing messaging perspective, you're focusing on more than the rest, I guess?
Yeah, I think, obviously it's an evolution, right? When you're a bootstrap startup as opposed to like a subsidiary of, a large company. I think for us, really, it comes down to the benefit. And I think really trying to focus on that, finding that root problem statement and what that benefit is. I think all the functionals that we put in there, if we start to go, individual, it's going to be completely overwhelming. I think that's why, like with the lattes, really sort of focusing on that focus element and energy without jitters. And then for the mocktails, that idea of, alcohol feeling without the alcohol, as opposed to, all the components and all the mechanics that get you there. But it's a great question. And it's definitely something that ultimately it's trial and error with the consumers.
Got time for one more question. All right, James, you want to take it?
Yeah. So the choice to go down the path of CBD as opposed to THC or, Delta 8 or Delta 9, which are more psychogenic. Does your plan as you look forward contemplate moving into that space once there's some sort of federal legalization? Or do you guys think you'll always stay just the CBD route?
We've definitely explored the THC and even for us being in Oregon, the psilocybin route. I think the biggest challenge with THC that we sort of, both from a personal and from a business perspective, one, it's like THC, like for me, I can't handle THC. It's too much for me. I think also from a regulation perspective, CBD is already a challenge enough. THC, you have to do everything state by state. So like the wild, the world, they literally have to copy and paste their, manufacturing into each of those states, assuming that there is federal legalization. I think it's something that, we have explored as a potential, product offering. But I think ultimately where we see with CBD is, it's a supplement just like any of the other supplements. And we kind of want to normalize it in a way where it's not sort of this, illicit sort of drug mentality. Even though THC, we don't view that way. It's just sort of, there's a pretty big gap, I think, between CBD and THC at the moment. And then psilocybin, I think that's just going to be pharmaceuticals. I don't think we're going to see that in consumer product goods, at least from our viewpoint.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Great job. We'll be in touch after, let you know how you did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, are you there? I've had some people sitting in the waiting room for a long time, so. All right. Hey, Mike, you're good to share your screen. And then once you start talking, I will start the timer.
So I don't have a deck. I'm just going to talk.
Beautiful.
Figure they can see my pretty face.
There we go. You're good to go.
Ready?
Yep.
All right. So did you know that you can help save the planet with bacon? Let me tell you how. My name is Mike Oraszewski. I am the co-founder and chief executive board of TBJ Gourmet, and we make bacon jam from upcycled bacon ends. Let me break that down. So bacon ends are created when bacon is sliced either too thick or too thin for the nice, pretty package that you find in the store. So these perfectly delicious pieces of pork are often rendered off or sold for feed. And Americans eat about 2 billion pounds of bacon a year, and that results in tons of bacon ends. Meanwhile, experts tell us that ending food waste by upcycling is the #1 way to combat climate change. So bacon jam is made when we take bacon ends and rescue them, cook them up with caramelized onions, brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, jam them into a jar so that people can spread it on everything from burgers to sandwiches, charcuterie boards, everywhere they want bacon to be. And if you're like 85% of Americans, including myself, That's on everything. So you can see that there's a tremendous opportunity to take something that could potentially go to waste and turn it into a profitable value-added product that consumers love. Now, this all started at my old restaurant when we had some excess bacon from a catering that canceled on me. We turned it into bacon jam, and the customers loved it so much they asked me to put it into jars, and I did. About a year later, I was selling it on QVC, and it really launched the company. And we did that with a $12,000 Kickstarter campaign. So we were lean from the very beginning, but we took that to QVC, and now we're in over 5,500 stores across the country, including Walmart. Now, as the first mover in the bacon jam space, we instantly saw competition from both large and small companies, but we continue to dominate the market by keeping our COGS low with upcycling, which is a benefit to us, but also a high willingness to pay by being a best-in-class product that makes a USDA certified bacon jam, unlike most of our competitors. Now we diversify our cash flow by selling both D2C and B2B in both CPG and the food service channels. And the latter one, the food service, is really big for us because, as you know, a lot of companies spend a ton of money in sampling products at stores, getting out there with activation teams. But what we like to do is sample our products by having chefs pay us money through Cisco and US Foods to buy bacon jam and put it on their menus. And so far, we've rescued over 650,000 pounds of bacon ends from potentially going to waste. And that's translated in over $6 million of revenue for the company. We don't intend to stop there. We're raising money right now to build a plant in Eastern PA where we're going to upcycle even more bacon ends and other ingredients into value-added products from local suppliers. There's a ton more to the story about how TPJ Gourmet adds value to investors, but I'll open it up now for questions.
Nice job. First question, who wants to go on this one? I'll go. So what, Mike, what's kind of like product extensions outside of bacon jam are you guys thinking in the future?
That's been the number one question from the very beginning. And we have been putting product extensions on the back burner because we keep having, growth in bacon jam world. But next we have a line of upcycled or fruit ketchups made from upcycled fruit that would sort of fit into that unique, savory, trendy condiment category. We also have a line of tomato jams and onion marmalades from upcycled ingredients. And then the big one is we have a patent pending on a mayonnaise made from animal fats. So as opposed to your avocado oil, which is the only non-crappy oil mayo out there that would be paleo and keto, this would be made from an upcycled ingredient input of animal fats.
All right, Nate, let's go with you.
A couple things. Where is this sold in the grocery store? And then the second thing is more of a suggestion. I feel like this would crush. Like, you should be on every charcuterie board in the world.
100%. I agree with you 100%. So at Walmart, we're sold in their entertaining set. We started off in their jam and jelly set, which we had great growth. It's not where we want to be. We really position this as a periphery item in the deli or the specialty cheese area, because of exactly what you said. The charcuterie board's where we want to be, and that, as you know, the charcuterie board, the butter board, those are like really growing entertainment. As people get back into having people over there, we want to provide them the ability to like really nail the dinner party, the entertaining, to make appetizers that are elevated, charcuterie and all that.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. I will be in touch in a little bit.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
I appreciate it.
See you, Karen.
Hello.
Hey, Vasa, you're good to share your screen. And once you start talking, I will start the timer. All right.
Awesome. Can I stall for like 15, 20 seconds just for fun?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. You're good to
go. Cool. So one of my favorite beverage founders right now is Yanni from Lemon Perfect. We used to consult for him. And he's got the 4 Ps. And I just texted him before this call. And I said that he forgot one. It's product, price, packaging, people, and he forgot purpose. So that's why I'm going to start with mine. Just about 5 years ago, a lot of crazy things started happening in my life. to not go through it all and be mindful of my 3 minutes, my goal is to turn pain into purpose. Things that happened during that time was gained a bunch of weight, developed prediabetes. I reversed it in 5 weeks last December. But during that time, I was drinking tons of soda. There's a lot of great, better for you sodas on the market, but not all, but for the most part, there's a lot of better for you sodas that are in the prebiotic or probiotic space. And for me, I was dealing with things that were more cognitive and for my brain. So I was taking supplements like L-theanine, ashwagandha, and I never take anything that's over the counter or anything weird like that. So I was supplementing to help cope with things. And my aha moment was, well, what if I combined the two? There is nobody serving this white space that is brain health soda. Some statistics behind it. Gen Z and millennials are the least likely to report very good or excellent mental health. Coincidentally, Gen Z and millennials experienced the most unexpected weight gain during the time that I did. I like to joke around saying that the average weight gain for millennials during COVID was 41 pounds because most of that's me increasing that average. I'd probably set the record. But there's more problems than that, than just brain health and stress and weight gain that's been going on. Right now, there's 1 in 10 Americans are diabetic, type 2 diabetic to be specific. And by 2025, that's gonna be 1 in 5. And one of the main causes of that is soda, sugary soft drinks. And right now, the American consumer consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. So something has to change. So I created Perfect. It's a low sugar soda, it's ketogenic certified, and it's enhanced with nootropics and adaptogens. The goal with Perfy was to bridge the gap between drinking something that tastes delicious and that is best for you. Some of the things that I studied before even doing this, there's obviously some business and strategic decisions. Was listening and being a student of the game. Martin Caballero from BevNet, who's going to step up and save soda. And that's something that you find often in better for you soda. I'm excited to see some of the leaders of the pack actually claim that they are soda. It's exciting to see. Not so exciting when sparkling water say that though. And my goal is to turn soda into something that's like redefined. When you ask somebody what is the definition of soda, nobody knows the answer. Is it based on how carbonated it is? Is it based on how much sugar it is? So for me, the idea is to position Perfy as a brain health soda that's redefining exactly what it is, statement of identity. There's also market research in functional drinks and mental fitness, both growing tremendously over the next 10 years. And what Perfy does is draw from both. So people that are now eating Goli gummy bears because they have ashwagandha in it may switch over to a different format, especially if it tastes good and it's only 20 calories. Some of the traction, actually probably won't share this slide because what Cam said about YouTube, but
you got about 10 seconds left, man.
I improved margin from by 325% in the first 6 months, and we have some huge distribution wins we're not about to announce.
Awesome. Yeah, I was excited to get the you can unshare your screen and we'll open up for questions. I was excited to try the Dr. Perfy. Really awesome product, and the packaging was awesome to see too. Who has questions for Vasa? So my question would be, like, obviously there's a few people kind of ahead of you, right? Olipop and a few of these other people. Like, how are you kind of looking at kind of playing catch up here and building out Vasa when there's a few kind of leaders already in the space?
Well, first and foremost, I view them as allies. You know, that personally, when it comes to investors and buyers, you have to draw some parity, but we're both for different parts of the body. I love what Olipop and Poppy are doing. They're for gut health. If they were to expand into brain health or really educate on the gut brain connection, you know, there might be some worry there. But for me, I'm not really paying attention to other beverages in the space. I'm focused on execution. I think that'll solve all things. On top of that, I'm focused on being mindful of runway. So, you know, it's just me on the team. I've got outsourced ops who's been very, very helpful. They've increased gross margin by 325%, and I've got a line of sight on the next production run to have gross profit margin above 50%. And within the first calendar year of a beverage brand launching, it's pretty unheard of. On top of that, I'm more focused on the bank and the dollars. Last month, which was month 7 for Perfy, was our first cash on cash positive month, and that's nearly unheard of. So I'm focused on myself more than I am competitors or quote unquote competitors.
Awesome. Fausto, we appreciate it, man. Appreciated the samples, and we will be in touch after this to let you know how you did.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. All right. We're going to go to Olives now with Freestyle Snacks.
Hey everyone, how are you?
Doing well. You can share your screen, and once you start, I'll start the timer.
Great. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Good. Well, it's amazing to see some familiar faces. And for those of you who I don't know, my name is Nikki Seaman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Freestyle Snacks, a premium olive snack. And yes, I said olives like my dress, which I know is kind of random because you haven't heard of innovation in that space in many decades, and I'm here to change that. With Freestyle Snacks, we're reimagining olives as we know them. We bring together high quality, delicious marinated olives from Greece with convenient liquid-free packaging. We give olive lovers exactly what they deserve, which is all of the taste and none of the hassle. We believe we can all live better. Our mission is to revolutionize snacking on delicious whole foods, and we're just getting started with olives. We're convenient, healthy, and delicious, of course. The opportunity at hand is that top olive brands in the space are declining, leaving room for disruptors like Freestyle to come in and take market share. Incumbent brands continue to miss the mark with a commodity mindset. There's extremely low brand affinity in the space, with 82% of people purchasing olives today not being able to name the brand that they're buying. There's also uninspiring quality and a lack of convenience, with traditional cans and jars hindering near-term consumption. Finally, with Freestyle, we have innovation that delivers on exactly what olive lovers want. We have bold, eye-catching packaging that jumps off the shelf, uniquely fresh flavors with our green olives lemon garlic, green olives hot and spicy, and our Kalamata olives with extra virgin olive oil. No artificial ingredients ever. Our olives are pitted for ultimate poppable snacking, and they're placed in pouches that have very palatable portions. And then our packs are resealable to save for later, which they often don't last that long. Freestyle Snacks offers a higher quality and a better customer experience versus peers. Our success to date has been tremendous. In just 8 months since launch, we've partnered with over 360 stores like Fresh Time, Erewhon, and Central Market. We've had significant media impressions across outlets such as Forbes, Food Network, and Southern Living. We've really played into social, whether it was with influencers or viral TikToks, and we've had incredibly positive feedback with over 730 five-star reviews and counting. The growth potential for Freestyle is really limitless. We intend to meet our consumers everywhere they are. So we started online, we've quickly moved and grown into retail, and we plan to expand into convenience, mass, airports, airplanes, liquor stores, food service, you name it, hospitality. The options are really endless because olives are so versatile, and we can find a modern day olive lover anywhere. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, love the branding and super excited to try the product. You can unshare your screen and then we'll go to some questions here. Who's up first? Isabel, you want to go?
Yeah, so I'm curious to learn more about your vision for the brand in the long term. Is it about creating a convenient snacking brand? And if so, what is kind of your portfolio idea? And or is it more building a brand around olives?
Great question. So we named it Freestyle Snacks so that we had the versatility to move into other things aside from olives. That's kind of our starting point. And so I don't want to reveal too much because this is going up on YouTube, but we are planning to be a snackable whole food portfolio. So think, what else you would find in that pickles, olives, pickled item aisle.
James, you're good.
Thanks. Hi, Nikki. Thank you. I'm curious, why olives? What drew you into olives? Did you have a background in olives? How did you start?
That's everyone's first question. And that's why I kind of noted olives sound a little bit random. But it was during the pandemic when olive bars and grocery stores had shut down that I first got the idea, because as a recent olive convert myself, I embarrassingly had never been to the olive aisle before. And when I was faced with it during the pandemic, I was not really happy with the options I was seeing. It looked more like eyeballs in a jar versus, the beautiful marinated olives you would get at a restaurant or from the olive bar. And then when I did try some of those brands at home, from a taste perspective, I found them bland and watery. And then from a convenience perspective, I was often eating them over my sink versus, at my desk or on my couch. And so I realized and kind of surveyed other olive lovers, friends and family, are these pain points resonating with you? And there was no real option for a convenient yet really high quality olive product. And I like that it's kind of this, trusty but dusty, a little bit sleepy category, less competition and more fun for me to gain more market share.
Taylor, I know you have one question. We can get to you right now too.
B2B. I've wanted something like this on the bar side for so long. My whole goal, if I had 5 more minutes, is to create the B2B bar snack collection of have you thought at all about I know, right? I'm not trying to divert you from your focus, but the B2B play for me, I think is super interesting too, because I see a huge white space in when you go to a bar or a hotel bar or lobby, the food sucks if they give you anything at all. So have you thought down the road about any type of B2B play as well with olives?
Yeah, definitely. And we're already doing a little bit of that. So we have some really great corporate accounts such as Google that we work with as we're a super healthy but convenient office snack for fuel during the day. But then to your point, for hospitality, we're also in talks with hotel groups as well as sporting arenas, because again, it's that healthy snack, but it kind of hits that savory, salty craving for you.
Nikki, great job. Really appreciate it. Super unique products and awesome branding. We'll be in touch after to let you know how you did.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.
All right. All right, so we're gonna have our next one. I would have your ranking sheet up. Again, 3 is your top one, 2 is your middle one, 1 is your third place one, and then I will tally them all up all together, and we'll see who won. And we'll open up a little conversation after Parch and just kind of talk back and forth about who resonated the most with us. But let's let in Isla for Parch first. Hey, Isla, it's Cameron. You're good to go. Once you start sharing your screen and talking, I will start your timer.
Great. Can you guys see my screen okay?
You're good.
Good. Nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for the time. I'm Isla Byrne, one of the half of the team behind Parch. My co-founder is Rodolfo Aldana. So we came to this space, the non-alcoholic cocktail territory, after a career in the spirits industry. We decided to make something that we thought would really entice people who decided to change how they viewed socializing. There's a global shift that's happening as part of the shift to better wellness and balance. And it really is addressing overconsumption of alcoholic beverages. It's currently being valued at about a $10 billion industry globally. That's the non-alcoholic marketplace. Drizzly just quoted a 40% increase in non-alcoholic offerings on their platform. It is over-indexing with younger consumers. It also is relevant for all consumers, but we're seeing an index, an over-index on Gen Z. The most insightful thing that I think people are surprised at is how many of these consumers are alcohol beverage drinkers. So it's not that everyone's moving teetotal. It's that people are just moderating within their consumption patterns. So 82% of people, up to 90%, Boisson, the largest retailer in this space is quoting, say that those people who are purchasing non-alcoholic beverages also enjoy alcoholic beverages. So it's complementary and additional to in terms of sales. And then the last data point came from some recent research focused on California that said 92% of NA non-alcoholic consumers are open to adding functional soda beverages. So this is a global shift that we're seeing. Actually, the US is a bit behind in parts of Europe and Australia, this desire to drink better and less. Yet the marketplace we felt was not offering beverages that had that craft and care that you see in the spirits industry that we were used to actually creating on the alcohol side, that are not as good tasting, so there's a compromise there. And then not as credible. Mocktails, calling things mocktails, dumbing them down, and some of the branding wasn't as sophisticated as we saw in the spirits and even in the craft beer industry. Mimics are de-alcoholized spirits, so they take a tequila and then de-alcoholize it. It's a very expensive, it's not carbon friendly, and it doesn't create a better tasting product. And then functional waters, we don't think that just adding functionals to a sparkly water is actually replacing the cocktail moment for people. This is me and my founder. And this is Parch. So we are a range of distinctive non-alcoholic agave spirits inspired by the Sonoran Desert and the lush biodiversity it keeps. A little more about us. We call ourselves cocktails without compromise. Instead of ethanol, we use a combination of 4 adaptogens. We worked with a naturopathic doctor to create the best combination of adaptogens to give you balance, optimize your body's adrenal function. That basically means to manage stress better. We use ashwagandha, American ginseng, L-theanine, and GABA. You see our packaging here on the right-hand side, and we have 2 flavors, prickly paloma and spiced pinarita. Our riff on a spiced margarita, we use whole roasted smoky pineapples. We then use cayenne pepper and mole bitters along with lime. And on the prickly paloma, we juice fresh cactus fruit, prickly pear, grapefruit bitters, chamomile, and hibiscus. We launched in the summer in July. We're just getting started. The 3 months we've reached 100 stores. And these are some of the events we did during the year. Great feedback. The quote I just want to address is from BevNet, industry favorite, which said we're the best tasting NA cocktail that they have tasted.
All right, and that will put you right at the limit. So I will, if you want to unshare your screen, I will let people ask a few questions here. Obviously, non-alc's a big space here. James, let's go with you first.
Yeah, so the non-alc, it's a very interesting category because I think when you look across the retail sector specifically, you're oftentimes dealing with a buyer who's still educating himself on that space and is used to dealing with distributors that sell alcohol. And I've talked to a number of brands in the space, and I'm just curious, when you guys think about distribution, who are you working through from a distributor standpoint? What part of the store are you trying to get into? And what type of buyers are you targeting?
I love that question. I just met with someone earlier today exactly on this subject. We're all kind of figuring it out. And so you see the reaction we're getting from stores immediately. I mean, first of all, who knew that NA liquor stores, dry bottle shops was ever going to be a thing? That's been fascinating. In 2 years, there's over 30 different NA liquor stores, fewer bars, but they're coming. I got a DM yesterday from Iowa City. When you start getting messages from Iowa City and Minneapolis and Indianapolis, you know it's more than just a East-West Coast offering. We've been in conversations with Whole Foods, Total Wine. They're all restructuring their stores to capture this space. The data point that I saw this morning was from Breakthrough Beverage that said that 40% number they're quoting on their internal Colorado Instagram, saying NA beverages are up 40%. If you want to stock, check our portfolio on the Breakthrough internal. I mean, it is a phenomenal change, but the stores are they're not there yet. I've been in Europe looking at the stores. The 5 biggest grocery chains all have a dedicated NA section. So we're seeing the lead come from independents, and it's really exciting. We started with Foxtrot in their 21 stores. We're in Pop-Up Grocer. We just heard that we're going to be in their first permanent store, and we're across all Boisson stores. But Boisson is the biggest retailer. We're in conversations about distribution. We're looking at KeHE for natural distribution. We're looking at conversations with beer, but those sellers don't know it. So we need to all work together on growing this category.
I really appreciate it. Awesome job. Love the branding. Thank you for sending us samples. And I will be in touch in a little bit to let you know how you did.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Bye, Cameron.
Thank you. All right, that was it. I'm glad I went with 12 and not 14 because there's no way we would have had enough time and it would have been a lot. But I think it was a good, definitely array of different products. Let's kind of everyone kind of go to their scorecard. Again, you're putting 3 next to your favorite, 2 next to your second favorite, 1 next to your third. And we'll kind of, we'll take some time, I think, kind of to decompress and talk about it. One of the things we didn't really talk about was we did get some samples from these different brands. So does anybody kind of want to touch on maybe one that just kind of wowed them from a flavor standpoint? I know it's not necessarily, that's not what we're judging on because not everyone was able to send samples, but who kind of wowed from a flavor standpoint? and we don't have to raise our hands here. We can just have a good old-fashioned like conversation about it. I think for me, like Prickly really stood out from a first time beverage. Like I've had a lot of the other ones before, but really enjoyed that product for the first time.
Didn't come as a sample, but I am a huge fan of the Bowser product.
Yeah, I wanted to try that. Yeah.
It's
I didn't try it.
I've tried it in various preparation methods that they recommend, but like the convenience and just the product quality relative to, you know, their main competitor, which is Hot Pocket, was staggering.
I could see Bowser being really popular with teachers and nurses anywhere where they rely on a microwave for their lunch break or working late. And I liked that he said you don't have to do anything special, like wrap it in a paper towel or add some water to it. You just put it right into the microwave.
I even see like if them like from a cool strategic partnership perspective, like partnering with like a Figs, just building on your point,
Yes,
like
absolutely.
like Figs and Bowser, like you have a long day, like oh my God, that'd be so much fun. Yeah, I didn't try it, but I've heard James, I've also heard it's really tasty too.
Yeah,
so.
they're actually working on a concept where I don't know if you guys have spent a lot of time in Asia, but when you go over and you see the types of vending machines that they have there and how complex they are, that they actually have heating systems, like they're thinking about a process of putting in Bowser vending machines that you'll select it, it'll cook it and pop it out to you warm and ready to go. I think that's genius.
I think the 8 Mile company, the 8, whatever it's called, I think I'm not a fan of the name. I didn't try it, but I like the concept. Like it's kind of similar to the pizza thing, right? Like it plays on nostalgia. I don't know, like if it's healthier for you. And I just think of Stouffer's growing up. And so if kids can have access to things that are better for you, but easy to, you know, put it in the fridge or the microwave or whatever. I don't know. I want to try it, but I love the concept and I love the idea of trying to provide, especially in like food deserts and people that don't necessarily have the same access, food that is healthy in a convenient format, but I didn't try it. So.
I completely agree.
I was going to say, I think I have everyone's vote-ins for 4 people. I think we might still be missing 2 because I'm counting 12 total votes, and I think I need, if my math is correct, 18. So I'll wait a little bit. Amrit, sorry for interrupting you. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say we saw a couple of frozen brands, Fabulish, 8 Miles, and Bowser. Frozen in general is filling this gap between people having cooking fatigue and the rising cost of takeout or going to restaurants. So I think next year, all of those brands have an opportunity to kind of solve dinner in a different way than we were stocking up on frozen meals in 2020. We couldn't go out to dinner. And I think next year people are just going to cut back a little bit, but this is a nice in between where you can still treat yourself and also not have to cook for an hour and wash a bunch of dishes.
Anybody kind of like intrigued by like some of these categories more than others, or feel like, hey, this is a great product or brand, but I'm not so bought in on the category?
I think Prickly was awesome, but like it just reminds me of you know, kind of like alt milk. Like what else can you make water out of? And I think getting consumers, you know, to drink cactus water might be a stretch.
I really liked Freestyle. I think that was really interesting take on that product. Exciting.
Yeah, I tend to like always favor categories that are dormant and haven't seen a lot of innovation. Like in that regard, I think Freestyle is special. There's not a lot of money being spent by their competitors probably. So with a smaller marketing budget, with a smaller you know, in-store activation budget, you can probably get a lot more done. The one thing I'll say in general is I'm always a little hesitant when looking at beverage brands that are trying to bridge the gap between hydration and supplementation in any regard. It is a very, very difficult thing to get people to start to think of you know, those going hand in hand, and it requires a ton of education. When you look at like the Poppies, the Ollipops of the world, you know, the Lemon Perfects of the world, like the burn is tremendous. And unless you have the capability of, you know, maintaining a really high margin, and fundraising excellence. It's just a difficult category to compete in.
Yeah, I would jump in, James, and actually I agree with that. I was going to say, I find the beverage categories are getting so crowded and all the functionality being thrown at me. I'm kind of like, I just want to drink water because it's just so much that all these beverages are supposedly doing that it feels like it's hard to cut through the clutter as a consumer.
So we had a tie for number one. So I need you to all go back into your rating. I canceled all the votes and I put in the top two. You're just going to put a 1 next to the vote that you're going to pick for the winner out of those two. All right, and I saw 4. Oh, I see 4 popped up in 1. So obviously with 6 voters, that will be enough to do it. And the winner is Freestyle. So I think that's super exciting to see. I think olives is something where it's like, you know, you definitely wouldn't have expected that to be the like kind of the product, but let's just kind of go around what stood out the most about Freestyle. I know we got about a minute or two here, but is anybody just kind of talk about like why they might have voted for Freestyle and kind of what really stood out for them outside of packaging and kind of like unique positioning? I think like a lot of us get kind of tired of like B2 products sometimes. And so it's like, oh, olives, that's so interesting and new. What kind of stood out to everybody? Genova, was there anything for you?
Yeah, it was just that so I think she has 3 flavors, so that was one thing. And then the other thing is like there's no you talked about not packaging, but just because the packaging, there's no liquid in the package, which makes it completely portable and easy to use. So I thought that was interesting.
Awesome. Anybody else? Taylor, I know you talked about B2B opportunities.
Yeah, I think there's a huge white space there. I mean, again, 2 totally different like business ideas, but just if she already has capabilities of creating something like that, I think she has all the opportunity in the world to work with massive hospitality groups, concession, you know, all the Levi's of the world, like just endless partnerships on the B2B side. If she could do it on a mass scale, but yeah. And it sounds like she's also, sorry, one more thing. It also sounds like she's branching into other like snack products. So it kind of even speaks to what I was hoping someone would create, which is like, you know, kind of more elevated bar snacks that could be integrated through those bigger hospitality groups. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think one thing that I look at is what's the flexibility of the use case, right? And the more places something can be used, I think the more versatile and the larger potential market is. And this is something that I think can be used in a lot of different use cases.
Yeah.
I think last question, you know, especially for you, like Nate and James, like do you view this as like a big enough like CPG brand to like invest in, like big enough category? Like, you know, what would be kind of the framework that you would look around like from an investment thesis, like around an olive company? Is it just kind of like how quickly you can divest into other verticals?
So I know the founders of Freestyle, so I've known them forever. So I guess I'm sort of conflicted on investment. I haven't invested. My view, like as a fund, I think it's a hard category to invest in because I'm not sure the market is big enough to create something that could return, you know, the entire fund with the size of check I'm writing. As an individual, it's something that I would absolutely invest in.
Awesome.
I would agree. I think the one thing that excites me about a fund investment or that would have us consider this from a fund investment is simply like the, you know, low barriers to entry, it sounds like, and there's just not a lot of competition to be new and interesting. And when you like, the one thing that I would want to look at is what's the total size of the market, who are the leaders in that space, and how acquisitive have they been in the past? Because if you can start to take a bite out of somebody's business and they're a category leader, then there's you know, pretty good line of sight to a potential acquisition. So I don't know if there've been olive acquisitions in the past. I'd want to do a little research on how ripe that market is for acquisition.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we had close to 200 applicants. I'm really like happy for all the judges. Appreciate you coming on. Obviously, this is a huge time, you know, added in the middle of your Friday. So we really appreciate it. Thank you for all the brands that applied. Thank you for all the brands that pitched. this was really successful for us. So I think we're going to start doing these quarterly. So we're really excited to kind of continue this and hopefully get back to these emerging brands. Loopy was the first and now Freestyle. And so excited to see how this continues into the new year. So thank you, everybody. I will get this out onto our